You are watching the New American Media. All right, everybody, thanks for sticking around. If you listen to that in real time, it only took seconds. If you're after the fact, thanks for listening. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/The New American Media. Leave your comments below and follow us on Twitter at American_media_. We are still joined with Blake the Eccentric Walley. Hello, Blake.
Going on, Brian?
And, well, what's going on is more conversation, a final segment. I'm actually answering you specifically for once instead of living the dream. And We're also still talking with Marc Clair from Lions of Liberty. Marc, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
All right, so... Yeah, and by the way, I have that little canned, hey, how's it going? Because if they're listening to this split up on YouTube, they don't know that we've been talking for 2 or 3
we got to trick
segments.
these listeners, make them think we're just getting to know each other here.
Yeah, I know. What's up with that? So what's up with this? New Jersey has filed the first lawsuits for alleged price gouging stemming from Sandy. Attorney General Jeffrey Chise, don't know how to pronounce his name, on Friday announced that the state is suing 7 gas stations and a hotel in northern New Jersey. The gas stations are accused of raising pump prices anywhere from 17 to 59% higher during the state of emergency related to the storm. The hotel is accused of raising room rates by 32%. Violators can be fined up to $10,000 for a first offense and up to $20,000 for a second offense. Okay, so about 83% of these complaints involve gas stations. Now, this is something, Marc, that you had been following and something that raised a few questions and concerns on your side.
Yeah, well, I mean, it just shows the pure, just economic ignorance of politicians, of a lot of people, of course, because, there's a reason politicians do this stuff. It's because they want to curry favor with the people and look like they're, fighting for the man by fighting the quote-unquote evil price gougers, but it really shows a complete lack of understanding of how markets work and how how even just basic supply and demand. So when you have a major crisis, a major disaster that cuts off, let's say, shuts down oil refineries in the area, shuts off supply of gasoline to the area, clearly we know that supply is lowered in that case. I think we can all agree. At the same time, you have a bunch of people who were not prepared for a major disaster. They weren't prepared. They didn't have gas for their cars. They didn't have a full tank. They didn't have extra gas. They didn't have a generator, or they didn't have gas for a generator. So people, at the same time as the supply is suddenly cut off, realize, oh, wow, I need that stuff. I want that stuff, and they all rush to get gas. Now, the natural reaction of the market is that when supply is shorter and demand is higher, prices rise. Businessmen are not these people that just wake up in the morning and say, you know what? Grr, I'm so sick of people. I hate them. I'm going to charge these jerks more for gas. No, the prices are set by the market. They're set by what people are willing to pay. And when the supply is dwindled and people, need it more, the price is naturally going to rise.
I like the concept. Hold on. I like the concept of a businessman waking up and saying, "Grrr!" just like clenched
I wake
fists.
up and say that, but I'm not acting like you.
Just growling at nobody in particular. Just sits up straight in bed at 4:30 in the morning. Grrr! Like Bride of Frankenstein or something. But
general anger. Yes.
Okay, so your point is you don't think that businessmen necessarily try to cripple and destroy everybody in their path.
Well, he'd cripple and destroy himself if he sold the very small supply he had into the first 30 people that showed up and then was shut down.
Well, you know what? Let me pause on that then, because I've been listening to some people talk about this, and they're saying, they live in this area and they're never shopping at these places again. They think it's ridiculous that they would do that in a time of need, but that's the free market working its way out. If they don't appreciate being gouged, they're not going to go back to them, and everything will work out at some point. And Blake, it brings into a greater question of what is the role of government, and trying to get into these price gouging stories here. I mean, what are your thoughts on all of this?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, the government should. I like what you just said about how people are they're wise to that. They saw what happened. And yeah, the guy's got to read. If you want to use the economics to your advantage and gouge people, you're allowed to, and the government should stay out of that. And the people are doing the right thing by saying, you know what, I don't like what they did, so I'm not going to shop there again. I totally agree with that. It's basically sounds like scalping or something. You find.
I think the
a
Native
hot
Americans.
I would actually take issue with that. I mean, I think this term gouging is just meant to demonize people that are just doing regular business. In fact, I would argue that this gouging saves lives. It gets oil and gas to the people that need it the most. Like so when a crisis occurs, and say there's a surgeon that needs to run and get to a hospital to save someone's life, they will pay the highest price, for gas. The people that need it the most will pay the higher prices and end up getting it. Whereas the people that just want to feel like having a full tank of gas, or just, want to go take a trip to see some family, well, they'll wait a minute, they'll wait a day or two for the prices to lower. And when that one gas station has high prices, another gas station will come in and have a lower price, and lower and lower, and the market will quickly correct itself and get prices more stable. But for that initial crisis period, it's very important that prices do go up when the supply is shortened, because it's simply the market reacting and getting gas and very scarce supplies to the people that need it the most.
Now, that would be if government got out of the way, and I got wrapped up in this whole... Well, yeah, and I got wrapped up in this whole subprime housing crisis, and I mean, the market still hasn't corrected itself. It hasn't rebounded because they didn't take their medicine. They didn't let it crash and burn. They didn't let all of the bad loans go bad. They didn't let the bad investments go bad. They didn't sue the people and throw the people in jail that were sending out all of the fraudulent information, saying behind closed doors, these are horrible loans, these are piles of crap, and selling them as A-plus rated, very sound investments. I mean, people should have gone to jail. The market should have completely collapsed. Everybody.
Actually, Brian.
Yes, sir. There
is a $43 trillion lawsuit going through New York right now, which I believe does cover that. But it's new. There's not a lot of information on it right now, but I do believe that there is something of that sort, and it's going to be about the housing crisis and Bank of America and Goldman Sachs and all these Wall Street guys, packaging up these mortgages, selling them, and then the derivatives, all that stuff. Yes, there is a $43 trillion lawsuit, but it's really not getting much media traction yet.
Well, let's talk about that on some of our future Eccentric Perspective shows and some of our future Agree to Disagree shows. But my thought all along, it's just like when Benjamin Franklin said, the way that you help somebody in poverty is to make them feel uncomfortable in their poverty. It's not meant to be mean, and I'm not saying let it collapse, let GM go bankrupt, or let Detroit go bankrupt. It's not for vengeance and spite. It's so that you can hit your rock bottom, you can look at yourself in the mirror, make the tough decisions, regroup, reload, and get your act together and come back out stronger on the other side. When the government especially tries to artificially manipulate the prices, whether it's in New Jersey or in the housing market with Fannie Mae, with Freddie Mac, with all the private corporations that are giving out the loans, it confuses the free market. And I wish we could just return back to some free market principles to see how this all works out. But we're running out of time here. So, Mark, any final words for us on today's program, sir?
Yeah, I mean, I think the price gouging little example that we're talking about here is a really good analogy for the greater problem of government that I think we generally all agree with, and that is that there is very little accountability by actual politicians. That's the way the system is set up. It's very, very easy to say what people want to hear, to make promises that you don't have to keep with your own money. You keep it out of this pool of money, or you have the Federal Reserve print it. You can promise people whatever that you want. You can promise them free gas, free ferry rides. In New Jersey, Governor Christie's giving free ferry rides out. You can promise them free health care. I think I said that already. Free school, free college, all this wonderful stuff. And this is how societies historically destroy themselves.
Blake?
I don't know exactly what to add specifically on the rest of this. I do appreciate the free market chat. A lot of good points.
Well, it's something that I wish we could try out for a change. People say, "Oh,
yeah, let's just give it a shot for a year, too. Come on."
Can we give it a shot?
They won't even consider it.
That would be fantastic if we could get rid of this.
Isn't that what I was saying? They're always saying, do you have any evidence that libertarian stuff ever worked in the past? It's like, are we always just going to keep reusing the same systems that have failed in the past, or are we going to try something new for once?
At the very least, we can say no, but we got tons of evidence that this other system is bad.
Yeah, I will trade all this stuff in for anything. I will trade my lump of coal for whatever's behind door number A. Door number 1 or curtain A. I will trade whatever this lump of coal is for anything else short of a enraged lion or something. I will take it. So, want to thank everybody for joining us today. You can follow Marc Clair on lionsofliberty.com, and if you go to Twitter, you can follow him at Lions of Liberty. Blake, the Eccentric Walley, you can hear him Monday, Wednesday, Thursday on freedomizerradio.com from noon to 1:30 p.m. Pacific, and you can follow him on his home site of eccentricperspective.com and on Twitter at eccentric99. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us today, and I will probably be back with you, Blake, on Monday, as usual, at noon Pacific. Thank you guys very much. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Blake. Take care, guys.
All right, take care. This has been a lot of fun today. It's always good doing this. It's always good having these conversations and linking up at a time where you feel like you're the only one who's disenfranchised, the only one who feels a little disappointed in the elections, the only one disappointed in your country, the only one that just doesn't think more of the same is going to get us into anywhere productive, that this is going to... Oh yeah, we're supposed to trust this administration to sort out our budget now after adding $6 trillion to $7 trillion onto our national credit card. I don't trust them. I'll take any new head coach over more of the same. My name's Brian Engelman. Thank you very much for listening to us on thenewamericanmedia.com. We'll be back next week. Appreciate each and every one of you. Tell a few friends, leave some comments. Peace. This is the New American Media.
Netizens to this newest edition in Juice Media series of rap news journalism with me, Robert Foster. This evening we're actively delving in depth to facts which affect all of us who dwell on this internet. And we've got to give a special welcome to all the ladies and agents from the NSA, AC, or MI5. Glad you're listening in, because today's show is all about surveillance and how it's spreading from the streets into our modems. As we speak, laws are being tacitly written in to implement ways of controlling the expanse of this internet to keep us safe, we're told. But from whom? And will this place ever be the same if these plans go through? To find out, we connect with our first guest to comment on the matter. We're live at the Panopticon with General Baxter. General? Son? Good to have you back again with us. Explain why the state is spying on us.
My fellow Oceanians, as you know, we've always been at war with Eurasia. Or is it East Asia? Either way, it's war and we need division to wage it. But now the proles are connecting online, bypassing these illusory divisions of race, religion, and nationality.
Sounds grand to me.
It's a catastrophe. Centuries of hard work are being undone, profits are vanishing, and it's due to the internet. It's empowering humanity. We need to get this snafu under control rapidly.
How?
Behold the latest weapon in the war of terror. Our greatest invention since 9/11. Guaranteed to keep us free and safe forever. I give you the surveillance state, ladies and generals. Our secret wires log your keys dial. Monitor every single number on your speed dial. Rewind straight to your position with facial recognition and pinpoint you within 0.03 of a mile. We've put eyes everywhere without consulting you, keeping you safe whether or not you want us to. Soon there'll be no freedoms left for threatening. Then we'll have won the war. Take that, terrorism.
Brilliant. Thank you, General. We now interview our resident guru, Terrence Moonseed, for a different view.
Greetings.
How does this situation look?
I have one word for you, Robert. Double plus on good. The world populace of 7.4 billion are all headed in the direction of Orwellian totalitarian oblivion. My voice is hoarse, yelling about stellar winds, cold chilling them and trap wire weaving through the world wide web we all dwelling in. Face it, the all-seeing eyes in all of our Facebooks like a virus, and in these iPhones with Siri, or should I say Iris. Next in line is RFID devices and mind chips triggered by chemtrails the plague spray the sky with. This time it's too far. Check out the base they're building in Utah, where they'll be storing all your data for over a century. It's FUBAR. And under the outback is an entire tunnel of wires, an echelon base called Pine Gap to hijack our mother Gaia.
Hey, maybe your mother's gayer.
Boo-hoo. Why didn't you just kill yourself like most of your troops do?
That's it. Now you're on the cast iron list.
Hang on, General. Why weren't we informed about this?
Sorry we didn't tell you about our grand plan before. It was meant to be a surprise, under wraps and in store. But some spoil sports had to go and ruin it for all by blowing whistles in spite of the damn law.
Bill, Benny, and Thomas Drake are trailblazers for leaking these tactics.
Hey, civil liberty factivists, journalists, activists. This is all legal. Anything we do now actually is.
How did-
You can't question my authority thanks to this.
And that shit's global, people. In Australia, it's now legal for the government to store all SMSs, searches, and emails. Australians, it's taking place under your nose. Unless you wake up, all your data are belong to ACO.
Come on, everyone knows you can trust the government now. If you've got nothing to hide, you got nothing to worry about.
That might be the case with things that are happening now because most people agree with most of the laws that are being handed down. But once the Illuminati reveal their agenda for you, this surveillance will enforce laws you no longer consent to. But by then it'll be too late to protest too. And anything you've ever said, typed, or browsed can or will be used against you.
I'm confused. So what should we do then?
What should we do? Nothing. This is all an illusion. It's just a ride, a delusion, the Matrix, the Maya deceiving us.
You hippies really make our job so much easier.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're picking up a signal from beyond the space-time continuum. Quick, switch on the juice channeling portal. Wait, is that George Orwell?
Good day to you.
Wow, what do we owe this honor to?
I tried to warn you noobs, but I see you are actually fools, or else you thought this was an instruction manual.
Yes, so can you advise us? What would you have us do?
An open and universal internet is the most effective tool you have to address the issues that afflict the world at hand. Therefore, protecting it is the most essential task that stands before your generation.
I think I understand.
Hush, man. You must not lose the internet. Heed this mantra. Who controls the internet controls the data. And who controls the data controls the future.
We're losing you.
I leave you with a tool to use.
An onion? Don't be simple, Robert. This is but a simile. It stands for Tor.
Tor?
Google it. It's for anonymity.
This onion router open network helps considerably against tyranny, but its abilities only work if all you use it consistently. And even if you don't use it, run it so its force swells.
Thanks, Mr. Orwell.
From now on, call me George Torwell. If we'd had such tools when I wrote this, well, it would have been so much simpler to tell Big Brother to go f himself. The mother sucking piece of
Thanks, George Torwell, for manifesting direct from this memory hole of history to impress on us these messages. We're told we need safety, which is precious, yes. But can a society that can enforce all its laws ever progress? Hindsight shows that many figures guilty of thought crime turned out to be luminaries and heroes before their time. But if a surveillance state had reigned then in this form and design, just think of all the progress we may have all been denied. Could lobbies for women's or gay rights have appeared and thrived? Would revolutionary ideals have materialized? Would science have pioneered or even survived if every word had been monitored by thought police and spies? Big Brother brings chilling effects, freezing our collective hopes. He doesn't protect our safety, but protects the status quo and threatens this internet, the one channel yet uncontrolled, whose openness we are now called upon to effect and uphold.